the recent fight between Natsu versus Gray in his E&D form, we have a slight indication to see where exactly the full extent of Natsu's power is in this transformation. Today's video is going to be focusing on this, mainly now that we've got more of a key plot point to actually look about where Natsu's power is going to go, especially around about the end of the series when we're seeing about how far that the E&D transformation on him can truly go, which we're going to begin right now. Now the question is that we've seen a little bit of this power during the Gray versus Natsu fight, when we saw that like the longer this fight was lasting, the more like demonic looking that Natsu was looking. Like you can clearly see from like the bunch of the panels that he was actually turning more demonic. His face was going all dark. He had this black, like very dark, like flames like attached to him. His claws seemed to be actually manifesting as well. You could clearly see when after the fight was over, when Urza stopped the fight, that you saw that Natsu had these manifestation of like demon-like claws, which I think is going to enwrap his whole body. We've seen like kind of like sneak previews before, like we've seen like a color page talking about a dragonized like Natsu drag meal, and I think with the claws and where it was going, is that the fact that if Natsu can't keep this under control, then he will actually like just turn him more and more like a demon. And since we only saw such the tiniest part of the transformation, like the very early stages of it, we can't really like grasp so much of what the transformation can do if the fact that all it was just having the claws at the start. But if it lasts longer and if the seal gets any more looser, then like we got to see where like actually his power level can lie. Now it needs to be something on the level of like what he was doing on the Fire Dragon King mode, like something that, you know, that he made, like Xerath made intently to like actually try and kill him, and of course he would make something near upon that level. And that's why like when like Xerath was very shocked and surprised to see the fact about Natsu, even without using the like E&D mode, that it was actually like overtaking him and actually able to kill him at that point, until Happy like intervened and stopped him. And Xerath, you know, like throughout the whole point of making the Book of Xerath and all the demons that lie within it was the fact to try and kill him and to see where this power level gauges right now. Generally, I think like if we're gonna like see a full transformation of Natsu around the end, I think we're talking by raw destructive power, then he's definitely like wants something like clean, like on the level of like what like we've seen with like Aileen, what we've seen with like any of the other characters with August, because we clearly, those two are like at the pinnacle of magics, and it seems like even with that, like it can't even kill Xerath. So I think definitely that was like one of the closer things that he definitely keeps around him, is people that are like near that level to killing him, but not on that level. And the question is like, what is Natsu going to be looking like the more and more he transforms later on to the series? You can see that the Dragon Claws was certainly an aspect in the Grey fight that he was having just in the recent chapters of Fairy Tail, but I generally think it will look like more of a demonic dragon-like thing that Acnologia is. I believe it will continue, it will have like this weird like metamorphosis on his body where it's going to be combining with its dragon side alongside with the demonic side of him. So we are going to have look at some very grotesque kind of like humanoid version of him, alongside with the horns, with the teeth, with the legs, the wings, the, like the tail. I can see like this picture of like Natsu just like on like all two and all that, but like just like hunched back and just like, you know, growling and just like uncontrollable at this point, because we can see like when he was in that fight, he had a vast little consciousness inside of him, and the fact of that was like he was only able to retain that after being interrupted by like one of his closest friends having that moment. And even the fact like I generally think that Natsu can control this at some point. Maybe if someone like Lucy has to knock sense into him in like the final part of the fight when he's like maybe fighting Xerath and he's losing control. I think that's going to be something where like Natsu is actually going to need control of this E&D like thing that he has inside of him to actually maybe either beat Xerath or even Acnologia at that point. Nothing will be a great true test to like I can kill this guy, especially as like what we had the problem with Xerath. It's like even the fact is like I want this guy to kill me, but like no, if Natsu can do it, then I am truly happy. That's the only thing I've ever desired, is the fact that he can take out someone on the level of Acnologia. And it's still a little bit weird at the fact that where the full final transformation is going to be at exactly with Natsu, because we've got to think about, well, look about like Acnologia in the case, like what like insane level is he on if the fact that Gildart's had a strong level, and it's like, does like Natsu need to be on that level of like truly like where Gildart's was, but even higher than that? And Gildarts is like probably able to deal with people like God Serena very easily, but it's like, even with the fact of Gildarts, can he even take on someone of August level? Like, can he even do something of like the insane of what like Eileen, and especially with August, because they are the highest caliber people in the Spriggan 12. That's not including the White Dragoneel into this, since we just know so little about his power level or where exactly he stands up with the whole Spriggan 12 and his whole identity about the Dragoneel itself. But clearly, if we want to like have Natsu reach this level of actually even taking down even Xerath for that fact, or even Acnologia, if it was going to be on a level that he needs to defeat them on his own, which I think he's going to need help defeating Acnologia. I don't know about Xerath. I think that's something only maybe Natsu can deal with at the end. Like maybe with this side of Lucy helping him, like maybe sealing him with some of Celestial Spirit magic. I generally think that Natsu has to be on this level where he has to be like near this Gildarts insane level, like when he's at this E.N.D. like final form. He has to be like higher than that form. He has to like transcend like what any mage has seen at that point of just raw destructive power. I think definitely if Natsu can control this power, that's when he's going to be truly devastating. The fact that if he's going to like be losing control like halfway throughout the Xerath fight, and if like Lucy is somehow able to knock him out of it and actually he's able to control this power and use this is definitely going to be up to the, like Natsu's advantage if he can actually use destructive tools to his advantage, like he has many times before with the different like numerous like transformations he's had with the Dragon Force, alongside with the different Lightning Fire Dragon modes. It's the best thing that Natsu's been able to do throughout the entirety of the series, and that's always been added to his battle style. When he's had something added into his arsenal, he can utilize that very like cleverly with his battle strategy, and he definitely uses it to the most destructive capability, as Natsu is clearly not a defensive kind of wizard. He is mainly offense, and if he can use something as like offensive as like the E.N.D. transformation to his arsenal, then that will truly mean he's a lot more stronger than a lot of people previously thought about Natsu Dragoneel. We're only just scratching the surface of the E.N.D. We still need to know more about this transformation. We still need to know more about this demonic form that Natsu carries, and I'm very much looking forward to the future of Fairy Tail when we get to more and more stuff in this series, addressing it and finally seeing that final fight between Natsu and Xerath, and even with Acnologia involved as well. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you love Fairy Tail as much as I do. You know where to hit that like, you know where to hit that subscribe. Thank you as always, and I'll see you guys though next time.